Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you resonate with the content. I just kind of want to jump right into it. So, I was sitting here in my home, ruminating on a manifestation that I am planning and tapping into, getting all of my vibrations aligned with such. And as I started thinking and just building, you know, I don't want to call it a dream, but just building out step by step how I want that manifestation to look, I decided that I wanted to be intentional, not only about how I envision it, but also who would be a part of it. So I decided for this particular event, because that's what it will be, that I want to be very specific. I also want to be, again, intentional about who I'm inviting. So today's conversation that I'm having with you all was already geared towards me healing my feminine energy and what that looks like today. And it just so happens it aligned that during me writing down all of my thoughts and, you know, um, all of the specifics of this manifestation, and then onto the guest list, again, being intentional, there were two places that I got caught and stuck. So much so I'm like, okay, let me grab my mic. Let me grab my phone because this is something. So on this guest list, and I like to do everything in threes, especially when it comes to my own manifestation. I'm a life path 3, so it just works. And so the two places that I got stumped when curating this invitation list, I said that I wanted to invite 3 mentors, and I also wanted to invite 3 people that I could ask for a loan and or some great advice. Now, these particular 2 sections, naturally, in any other case, would have been filled with, either my best friends or family members, but they occupied other spaces in the invitation list prior to me getting to the mentors and then people that I can ask, good advice or even a loan from. And the reason why this stumped me is because oftentimes I preach that, one person or even 1 or 2 people, 5 people cannot be everything to you. It's a very big burden to carry for the people around you to carry so much of an emotional load as it pertains to showing up for you and being there for you. Like you want to have a tribe because one person cannot do it all. It's not fair to them, and you want to kind of spread yourself out a bit as it concerns support of you. And I just have become very stumped because I'm like, okay, who can I consider a mentor? Who can I say that is leading me down a path or walking with me down a path of either righteousness when it comes to my spiritual walk, or even financially, or like a life coach or something. And I was almost like I was very close to just putting my therapist, but granted, it's her job, like she gets paid for that. So outside of that, who would I have to put in that spot as a mentor? Someone that is like pouring into me with like nothing in return, but only to be of service to my growth. And I literally don't have anyone to put there. Not anyone that I can think of, again, outside of my family members or my friends. But again, they occupy other spots in that invitation list. And then we move on to, someone that I can ask advice from or call and ask for a loan. Granted, I do very little of that when it comes to people loaning me money. Like if it's not my parents, I don't usually ask anyone um, to help me out financially. Like I'll figure it out. So I was able to curate at least 2 family members that I could either ask good advice from, and or a loan. But I am still missing a third person there. And the mentors, I'm absolutely stumped. But it just took me down the route of just thinking to myself, man, it's really hard for me as a woman to allow people to help me. It's really hard. And that is a part of my feminine energy that I am actively trying to work through because I can't keep everything on my shoulders and on my back. It's not for me to carry. And I should be okay with showing vulnerability, asking for help, allowing people to help me, and being comfortable in doing so. Not feeling as if I have to give something back or show up in a way that is acceptable and that I can just be vulnerable in my places of need. Um, so as you can see, I'm literally like working through these thoughts right now, like as I'm speaking, because I never realized it. I've just, well, I can't say that I never realized it. I know that this is a thing for me, but I didn't know how hard it hit in my life because again, I have my best friends. I do have again my parents. So it's like outside of them, I don't really ask much of anything from anyone. And anything that I do ask for outside of those core people, it is a paid service. I kid you not. I don't ask for much. And I definitely don't ask for anything that I can't pay for. Okay, I don't live beyond my means, but if you want something done, either do it yourself, and if my money's on the line, I'm gonna make sure you do it right. And I've just always had that energy. Like I don't ask for favors. Anything that I want, even from family members that are not so close. If I want something done, I'm gonna pay for it to have it done. And it's a strange way to think of things when people may want to show up for me, but a lot of people don't ask. And I know why a lot of people don't ask. A lot of people don't ask, and it just brings me back to earlier this year. Like I said in my last video, I lost, a couple of family members, and piecing it together in this moment, everyone kept asking me, like family and friends are like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. Like, I'm just worried about this person. I'm just worried about that person. I'm fine. Like, don't worry about me. I'm good. I'm good. It had gotten to the point where it was scary because everybody kept asking me if I was okay. And I'm like, why wouldn't I be okay? I'm fine. Like, we've been here before with other family members. Like, trust me, I'm cool. Until I was not cool. And I don't know if it was just the sheer thought of everyone just asking me if I was okay. I'm pretty sure that's what it was because I had gotten to the point where I was like, okay, am I supposed to be okay? Like, is something wrong with me that I am okay in this moment right now? But it's just the fact of I was so concerned with other people and showing up for other people and being that support system for others who were going through the same thing that I was going through and experiencing. And when it really came down to it, and trust me, this is a much more long and drawn out story, but I'll cut it short. When it really came down to it, and I did start to expect a certain level of support and it wasn't there, that's when it hit me, you know? And it's moments like that because I don't ask for much, and anything that I do ask for is very rarely a favor. And in those moments where I am vulnerable and I try to ask people for certain things, and it just seems like pulling teeth. So I've now conditioned myself through all of my years that anything that I want, I just have to provide. I have to produce. I have to perform. I have to show up. So much so that I have not allowed people into my life. I have not allowed opportunity for people to show up in my life where they can lend a helping hand and looking for nothing in return. So this has stumped me because it feels like every time I get to a place where I'm uncovering this particular issue with me being vulnerable enough to accept help or ask for it, it's like a catch-22. And my therapist would say is because I'm hanging on to an expectation, which I believe, that I do hang on to a certain expectation when I do ask. But I mean, let's just be honest. How many people do you want to ask if it's going to be no? Then you get to a point where you're just like, forget it. I'll just do it myself. I'll just do it myself. Anything that I want, I'll just get it. It's fine. Whatever I want to see happen and come into fruition, it's fine. Same thing with my birthday party. It was like at the last stretch, then I started like phoning people to say, hey, I need a little help. I can't be here and do this and do that. I need a little help. And granted, everyone that I did call, they showed up. I love my family because they really did show up for me, but it's just really difficult because there are times where I feel like when I need it the most, even if it's something big or small, it may just be in that moment where the need is magnified. Those are the moments where I feel like people kind of let me down. So now it's like if it's not small, if it's not something that I don't care about, or if it's something I don't necessarily care about, then I will ask. But again, like I said, I don't have a mentor and I don't really have people that I really could call and ask for a loan. Like I said, I put 2 family members there because they have in certain cases, but that's not always the case. And I don't want to sound as if I'm ungrateful. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just kind of working through my thoughts of this because I know a lot of it does fall on me. I don't ask, or what do they say? You have not because you ask not. I don't ask. and that's the problem. And the one time that I ask, I allow that to dictate how I live the remainder of my life. Because one thing I don't want to be is a beggar, okay? Like I don't want to be seen as somebody that is begging, or you always have a need for something, you calling around like I can't. And I don't want to say that that's pride. I just feel as though You know, there are certain areas of my life that I am blessed, and also I am responsible for. I can't put myself in a hole. I can't purposefully put myself in a hole and then expect for people to bail me out. So a lot of the times I just take accountability and, I make do with what I have, and I make it work. But there's a thin line between that accountability for putting myself in certain situations and then also not blaming myself for situations that are out of my control and being able to allow people to show up for me. I think that's the best way that I could put it. And it took me minutes to get here. But yes, like there is a spot and a transition that I'm missing where when things are out of my control and I am in a vulnerable state, that I can ask for help, that I can allow help in those moments. So that is something that I'm really working on as a woman, because you have some people, and just people in general, man, woman, and otherwise, you have some people, they have no problem having the broke wrist. Okay, I don't know what creator came up with that, but like having the broke wrist, if I'm not mistaken, it was April Mason. Yeah, like having a broke wrist and just asking for help from everybody. Oh, I need help. Yes, please. Yes, please. Can you please? Yes, I accept that. I'll let you do that for me. Yes, you're right. I'm not strong enough for that. You're absolutely correct. Yes, I do need a little assistance. I'm not there yet. I am not there yet. I try my best, but I am not there yet. And I hope to get there one day, because life is already burdensome. And I don't believe that I was put here to struggle. There's just so many things that I feel internally about myself. Like people talk about their imposter syndrome as if like they're somewhere of a greater purpose that they're not necessarily supposed to be. Well, I feel the opposite about that. Okay. I feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else, not exactly where I am, but greater. So I'm an imposter in my current reality. And knowing that, I do understand that at some point I have to allow people to be of service to me, because that's the only way this will get done. I can't be the cameraman. I can't be the sound crew. I can't be, the wardrobe person, the hair person, the makeup. I can't be all of those things all together all at once, because I tried. Okay. This is why you see me behind this microphone and not necessarily in front of a production as much as I would like to. It's simply because I can't be all of those things. I don't want to be all of those things. I work full time. Okay. And then sometimes, depending on the day and my company. So I can't come home. I can't go to a studio and be all of those things. Can't come here and beat a face, put on an outfit, turn lights and cameras, set up. I can't do it. I can't. I'm only one person. So allowing myself the opportunity to allow people to help me and pour into me, and being able to accept that and not feeling guilty for it, this is what I am working on. This is the part of my feminine energy that is going to be the most, what's the word that I'm looking for? Beneficial. It's going to be the most beneficial to where I see my life, because I can't do everything, and trying to do everything, it'll be half done. No matter how perfect I try to put, get the pieces together, it'll always be half baked, or not baked at all, messing with me, because if it's not perfect, I'm not putting it out there. I'm not getting up to do it. Okay. Because of that, when I go and put on my makeup, if that eyeliner is off, show's canceled. Show's canceled. I'm not doing it. So I really do hope to get to the place where I can feel comfortable and at peace with doing that, and feeling deserving of that support. And luckily enough, I did meet some really great people, that are a part of my crew right now that I'm getting together. So eventually it will all come to be. But as of right now, I'm doing what I can do, what is the most seamless for me to do without stressing myself, and still being able to create. Now, as things grow and progress, then I can start adding different factors in, taking things off of my plate. And that is the goal. It's just like when I eventually get married. Okay. The goal is to take some stuff off of my plate, not necessarily to put it on his, but definitely to take it off of mine, and at some point within that, same as me, take some things off of his plate. That's the goal, is to share the load. So definitely reassessing my life at this point, because it doesn't have to be hard. I don't have to be so strict on myself and about what other people think, especially as it relates to me being vulnerable and accepting a handout. There, I said it, accepting a handout. Because I've used all of these phrases just to say a handout, a loan, a favor of sorts. I should be able to accept that, because I just should be able to. There's no drawn out reason. I just should be able to. There's nothing about me that has to be strong all the time. As a matter of fact, I've been the weakest I've ever been this year. And the way people have shown up for me, even in unexpected places, I am grateful for, because I wouldn't be in this particular position had they not been there and shown up for me. So those are the things I wanted to share. Again, please like, share, and subscribe if this is something that you can relate to, and definitely leave your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, peace.